Long before it was called Britain, long before kings, castles, and parliament, this land was wild, tribal, and divided. There was no united kingdom, no single ruler, no single identity. So what was Britain like before it became Britain? Thousands of years ago, during the Stone Age, early humans crossed into this land when it was still connected to mainland Europe. They were hunters and gatherers. They lived in small groups. They built simple shelters and used stone tools. Over time, farming replaced hunting. Communities settled. Monuments like Stonehenge were constructed, mysterious stone circles that still puzzle historians today. By the Iron Age, around 800 BC, the land was dominated by tribal societies. These tribes are often referred to as Celts. They were not one united people. They were divided into many different groups, each with its own leaders and territory. They built hill forts on high ground for protection. They traded with Europe. They were skilled metal workers, but they were frequently at war with one another. There was no single Britain, only tribes. Then, in 43 AD, everything changed. The Roman Empire invaded. Under Emperor Claudius, Roman legions landed on the southern coast. They defeated local tribes and gradually took control of much of the island. For nearly 400 years, Roman Britain was part of a vast empire. They built roads, towns, bathhouses, and defensive walls like Hadrian's Wall. Latin influenced language. Roman law influenced governance. But Rome did not conquer the entire island. In the north, fierce tribes resisted. Eventually, around 410 AD, the Romans withdrew, and once again, the land was left divided. Without Roman control, new groups began to arrive: Angles, Saxons, Jutes. These Germanic tribes settled across eastern and southern England. Over time, their kingdoms grew: Northumbria, Mercia, Wessex, Kent, each ruled by its own king. The word England itself comes from the Anglo-land. Meanwhile, in the west, Celtic kingdoms survived in Wales and Cornwall. In the north, the Kingdom of Scotland developed. And across the Irish Sea, Ireland remained separate with its own rulers. Still, there was no united Britain. The land was a patchwork of rival kingdoms. Then came the Vikings. Beginning in the late 8th century, Norse raiders attacked coastal settlements. Monasteries were looted. Towns were burned. Eventually, Vikings settled in large parts of England, creating the Danelaw, territory under Viking control. Once again, power was divided. But slowly, one kingdom began to rise above the others: Wessex. Under leaders like Alfred the Great, resistance against the Vikings strengthened. Gradually, English kingdoms unified under a single crown. By the 10th century, the Kingdom of England had formed. But Scotland remained separate. Wales remained separate. Ireland remained separate. Even when England unified, Britain as a single political entity did not yet exist. That transformation would take centuries. It would involve wars, royal marriages, political unions, and conflict. In 1603, the crowns of England and Scotland were united under one monarch. James VI of Scotland became James I of England, but the countries still had separate governments. Finally, in 1707, the Act of Union formally united England and Scotland into the Kingdom of Great Britain. Later, in 1801, Ireland joined to create the United Kingdom. What we now call Britain was not born in a single moment. It evolved. From tribal lands, to Roman province, to Anglo-Saxon kingdoms, to Viking territories, to medieval nations. Before it was Britain, it was a land of shifting identities and constant change. No single ruler, no single flag, no single nation. The idea of Britain took thousands of years to form, and even today its identity continues to evolve. So when we speak of British history, we must remember, before it was Britain, it was something far more fragmented, complex, and untamed. and that long journey shaped the nation we know today.